I figured that the optional fire area would be the final upgrade for the blades, and the optional fog area would be the final upgrade for the axe, and I was right, but I missed something. Because I didn't actually get the upgrade. Nice. Don't know if I'll be seeing any fireworks shows this year. We saw a drone show instead. My favorite part of Xenogears is when Grandma tells me about the game they wanted to make. Yeah, I remember saying, like, I didn't mind it as much as I thought I would. Is this the... Yeah, we can use the teleporter here. I feel like as a kid, I didn't understand much about the video game industry. So I either would have just not realized at all that it was an issue, or I would have been like, why did they just not finish the game? Question mark. What are they, lazy? Question mark. So I can understand it more now. But I felt like it didn't ruin things as much as I thought it would. Like, a lot of the stuff they tell you, it's like, okay, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Then there's like two things that they tell you where it's like, yeah, that was supposed to be some big epic finale, and you're just telling me it. This kind of blows. But other than that, like, in particular, I won't spoil anything, don't worry. In particular, one of the characters has, like, a finale to their arc that is very obvious and is built up throughout, like, the whole game. And then it's just told to you because budget. And that was a shame. It was like, yeah, they definitely wanted to do something more with this and couldn't.
Okay, what's good?
Okay, so what? How do I... Resources... Aha, that's what I missed. I never turned that in.
Good choice.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Lots of luck.
So now we just have to figure out how to get these two armor sets. I really have no idea what these are. This could take 3 hours. It could take 2 minutes. Okay, this is just from killing enemies. Surely I gotta have enough for that, right? I have to turn in... Traveler... Oh, it's this.
Rich with the pride.
Okay.
I'm sure that'll keep you out of trouble.
That's easy enough.
That ought to keep them packing bits off you.
Okay. Then the other one is the Ancient. I don't see that.
You take care now.
I know I've killed a good amount of Ancients. Yeah, I have 6 Ancient Hearts. And Ancient's Rubble. Yeah, I should have enough.
Come on in, then. So much for peace and quiet.
Aha, there it is.
Looks good.
I was looking in purple, but it's a blue. Which is weird, because Ancients are, like, really tough. Okay, this should be plat.
Don't be too careful now.
There it is. Just like that.
Well, see you next time.
Father
you
and
need
son.
something.
Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea if those ancient or the armor sets were going to be like a whole quest I had to do, or if I was just going to have to build them. But I ended up killing enough of those ancients while looking around for the dang birds to have enough. So there we are. Finally got this plat. I am very happy. Very happy to have this game finished. Let's go over to the trophy quest and talk about it. Let me pull her up. And also, let's get out of the shop so we don't have to listen to them smacking iron the whole time. I'm not here and listen to the wind. God of War. So I have a lot to say about this game, but I'll start off by giving the story I told you guys earlier again. Long story short, I decided to pick a game that I would play off stream just so that I had something to experience, like not on stream. You know, I play almost everything on stream. I play almost everything as a community with you guys. But it's nice to have at least one game that I can just sit and play on my own and experience on my own and not have any biases or, you know what I mean? Just have something that I can play on my off time. So I picked God of War, but I picked it like 5 years ago because, long story short, I like got into this rhythm of I would stream all day, and by the time, or like all week long, I'd be playing games on stream. And so when it was time for me to kind of sit down and play my own game, I just never really felt like it. And I always just played games to waste time, you know, multiplayer games, online games, something that's like junk food, something that I don't have to like sit and actually think about and be emotional towards. And this happened for like the longest time. And every once in a while, I'd get motivation to be like, you know what, I want to play a story-driven, emotional game. Like I said I was going to off stream. Let's pick up God of War again. And I'd pick it up and I'd play it for a few hours and then drop off, or something would come out or whatever, and then I'd stop and then never go back to it. And this happened like 3 or 4 times over the last couple of years. So finally, I said enough is enough, and I got myself a little basket here, doing the basket method of only putting in games in the like only playing games that are in the basket. because I had like severe choice like I could not choose. I would sit and think about what game I wanted to play rather than actually playing it. Choice paralysis. So I would just, should I play God of War? Should I not play God of War? By the time I decide, I'd be like, oh, it's too late. I don't feel like it. So I finally just said enough is enough. Put it in the basket. Every time it was time, I got some free time off stream, I would go into the basket and play one of those games. And one of those games in there is God of War. So I slowly picked away at it for the last couple of weeks. And I finally finished it. And it was awesome. And it felt great. And I love this basket method. Highly recommend if you're someone that just sits and thinks about the game you want to play rather than actually playing it. Try the basket method. It works wonders. But I finally finished it, and so then I decided might as well get the platinum before I move on, because I'd like to play God of War Ragnarok at some point. And if I play that, I'm probably never going to want to go back to this. So I said, the heck with it, let's get the plat. Also, the original God of War games are some of my favorite games of all time. I played them so much as a kid and did like everything in them. I beat all of them on the hardest difficulty except God of War 2, I think, because I got stuck on one of the boss. There's a boss you have to use magic, and on the hardest difficulty you get like no magic, and I couldn't figure it out as a kid. But I played the crap out of them to the point where like I'd be down to even like speed run or challenge run them today. And so when I played this one, I definitely knew I wanted to plat it, and maybe I'll plat the whole series. Also, I got the platinums for the PSP games too, so I'm currently at 100% plat rate up to this point, but I got to do Ragnarok, and then I'll have all of the God of War plats, which would be cool. So I'll have to do that. But yeah, so I started working on the plat, and then we finished it here on stream. So that's the whole story of me and God of War. As for the game, I loved it. I don't love it as much as the originals, but I'm super mega biased. In general, I still really, really liked this game. It was very emotional for me because I'm a dad, and like I have 3 kids, 2 boys, daughter that we just had 6 months ago. And I feel like I'm in that stage where I'm seeing my oldest start to kind of become, not a man, it's not that old yet, but become a functioning member of the family. And then on the other side, I have my daughter who's only 6 months. And so like, there's definitely some dad feels with this game, me playing it, and especially because I very slowly played it over the course of a couple of years. I kind of watched my boys grow as I played through this game. So yeah, definitely some emotional dad moments playing this game, and I give it big credit for that. I did enjoy like the combat and stuff. There were some parts that I felt like the combat was kind of moot, especially like later in the game. I also felt like the ending was awesome, but the final boss was kind of lame in my opinion. I didn't really like the final boss, but I loved the ending. The ending made up for it. I think my favorite part, semi spoilers here, but my favorite part, I think, of either the whole game or just the ending was the fact that you go up there, you do the thing, and then you just leave. You just leave, and the credits play. You get the semi credits, and then you have to go all the way back home to get the full credits. But I just love that you just leave. It lets the moment be the moment, and it's this moment you've been like building up to the whole game. And it just lets it be the moment, and there's no silly twist or like, oh, but then he came back and you gotta fight the final boss again. Like it just did it. It was great. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, this was my own quest here, and I did not do the whole game on stream. Played vast majority of it off stream on purpose. Difficulty pretty low. It's mostly just collecting. You don't have to play on any difficulty. The game itself is like somewhat challenging. You could just play on easy though. Probably like a 4. Maybe even a 3, honestly. I don't really see it being any more than a 3. I mean, there's just not really much you got to do. Well, I guess you have to do like the fog area, and you have to do the fire area, the fire challenge thing, but yeah. If nothing else, you can just get stronger by doing other things and come back, so yeah, I feel like it was pretty easy, which is weird because the original God of War games were very I mean, the challenges of the gods, quick fun little 4-8 trivia. One of my first videos to ever get like a lot of views, and to this day still one of my most, maybe not most viewed at this point because I've had a lot of videos get over it, but for a long time it was like top 15, top 20 videos on my channel was this God of War 2 Challenge of the Titans walkthrough video that I made all the way back 13 years ago. I made this video. Can't see the whole thing because we're zoomed in, but 13 years ago I made a God of War 2 Challenge of the Titans walkthrough, just showing how to do the challenges, and it got 87,000 views. So people really needed to know how to beat those challenges because they were really, really difficult. And I made one for God of War 1 as well. It didn't get as popular, but back then it was popular for my channel. Fun-wise, I think it was pretty good. It makes you do everything. There's nothing above and beyond. But I think this game has so much already that I don't really want another trophy. Like if there was some challenge trophy, I would be like, I don't want to even do it. I feel like this entire game was just so much, in a good way, but after getting all the treasure and doing all the Valkyrie stuff and I'm just kind of done with the game at this point. Like I'm happy to be done with it. I don't think I'd want to do any extra bonus trophy challenges, but the trophies do cover pretty much everything. Also makes you do the Valkyrie stuff, which, speaking of which, now that I think about it, you do have to do the Valkyrie stuff, so I'm gonna bump up the difficulty to a 4. The Valkyrie stuff is pretty tough, I think. I mean, I had really good equipment and she kicked my butt for a solid 45 minutes before I finally beat her. And I also tried to do a couple of the Valkyries when I wasn't super strong, and they kicked my butt as well. So, yeah, there's at least some challenge in here. There's some challenge in here. It's not super easy mode. Again, you could just play on easy, but I don't know how easy is. I did on normal, but yeah, even on normal, she like 2-shots you. I had really good equipment, like some of the best equipment in the game, best armor that I know of in the game. And on normal, she like 3-shot me. I was like, dang, okay. So yeah, they don't do anything crazy, but I feel like I still want to give it a pretty good rating. You know, it's mostly just story, and then all the dragons, all the lore, all the artifacts, all the birds. I will say the birds are pretty annoying, and I don't really need them to be a trophy. So yeah, I'll dock at a point for the bird trophy because the bird trophy was kind of dumb. at least with like the artifacts and the lore stuff, it's like, oh, we get to hear some lore about the game. That's nice. The birds are just why. So I'll give it like a 7. It's good, but not great, and a bit annoying at times. Did it glitch? No. And what was my final time? This time is going to be like very... let's see. What is the actual... Does the file give me a time? I think it just gives you the time of day you saved. Doesn't tell you an actual time unless there's something in here that gives you a time, but I doubt it. So we'll just have to go by this, but this is going to be really off because, like I said, I picked up the game for a couple hours and put it down several times over the course of the last couple of years. So this says 57 hours. I'll say like... I mean, it actually sounds kind of somewhat accurate. I'll say like 45 to 50, but that's probably pretty high, honestly. If you know what you're doing, you could probably do it much faster, but to be more accurate to my own journey, I'll say 45 to 50. And that's it. That's God of War. Like I said, love the originals. Did really love this game. I think it is an amazing game. I just kind of really biased to the original ones, but you know, the original ones also got me into Greek mythology, which I was just super mega into as a kid. It's like my favorite thing was mythology. So, and this just like fueled my fire with that. So they just came out at the perfect time. I told this story, I think last week, but when the original God of War game came out, it was like the absolute perfect time in my life for that game to come out. It was like I was in high school. I was starting to get like into more mature rated stuff. I would go to like my friend's house and play GTA. And I was just, you know, interested in seeing more R-rated movies and M-rated video games and stuff. And then I was super into Greek mythology, and I was starting to get into like English class more because I wanted to be a writer. And when I started to get more into that in my English classes and stuff, they'd always have English projects, and I would always pick some kind of Greek mythology thing. If I could pick like the Odyssey or the Iliad to read for a school project, or if I could do something on like Greek gods for a write-up, I would always pick that. And then this game comes out, and it's like just the perfect storm of this M-rated Greek mythology game that's like super action-packed, and it was everything I wanted in a video game. I mean, it was just like the perfect timing, you know? So, yeah, just... I absolutely fell in love with God of War 1, and then 2 and 3 were also so good, and like 10 out of 10s when they came out. So I was all about those 3 games. So that's it. That's God of War, and that is our 204th pretty good Platinum Trophy.